right, folks, we are back, and we are back better than ever. Rob, how we doing, big guy?
Good. How about yourself, Tom?
Good. It's a heater out there, Rob.
Yeah, it sucks, man. This morning was nice and 60, perfect golfing weather. I can't believe it jumped up like 30 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll hold on to every last minute I can of this weather. So not complaining, but it is.
But you'll hold on to this weather? This freaking humid balls hot?
Yeah. This could go by like 10 degrees, but it's going to be interesting because in 2 months, Rob, we're going to be like, dude, it's freezing out. We want summer back.
What's the pool situation? Still open?
Today was the start of close.
Oh, you drain it?
No. So today I made sure my chemicals were right. I shocked it. And then tomorrow I'll add the old algicide, pull the ladder, all the filters, the pump, the tubing, and throw the cover on. That's a wrap.
Oh, so you leave the water in there?
So you leave. So you only drain below like.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Do you know what the skimmer plate is? All of the debris goes into.
Sure. So
you drop the water level below that, and then you just throw a cover on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. You thought you drained the whole pool?
Well, no. Now I'm thinking about like wind and all that shit, like it collapsing. So it makes sense to keep water in there.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't think there was that much water in there either. Prior to owning a pool, I always thought it like got dropped to like, half or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, you just keep the same water in there, and then obviously next season, the trick about it is though. Shout out Mr. Hook, is you gotta close it how you want to open it, right? So you want to open it, you still got to vacuum, you still have to do your chemicals. Sure. You can't just like say fuck it and close it. Otherwise you're going to open it up to a disaster. So
sure. Well, I was laughing because on like Saturday and Sunday this past weekend, you saw everybody having their hose from their pool running out to the street, emptying the water. So
yeah. So yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm actually pretty curious on how it's going to go tomorrow. I've gone over it like 30 times in my head. So I think I got a good system in play. We'll recap that next week.
Sounds good.
But yeah, it's gonna be sad. Probably get one last dip in tomorrow morning, and then that's it.
Full season. Oh man, sad day over there.
Sad day, bad day. Did you get out and play since our last pod, though, Rob?
I did not. Haven't had a chance. Actually hit the driving range a couple of times though during lunch, which I felt good because with Seven Bridges coming up this weekend, Sunday, actually, for the playoffs, it's just trying to get the 3-wood right so that I don't have to worry about driver at that course.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially on the back there, you could probably even pull iron on a lot of those holes.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to the back nine. I mean, I just, the front nine's great. I love it, but the back nine's just like absolutely terrible.
It's tough. If you get through those like 3 or 4 holes, like I said, just, and this is, much easier said than done.
Right.
Just playing it safe.
Yep.
Because guys are going to get in some serious trouble on those holes.
Oh yeah. I mean, 10 is just that par 5. I don't even getting cold sweats just thinking about it. So.
Right. I did not get out. Definitely did.
Rest in the back now, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I've already said no to the EIU outing. That's like October. That's like the first week of October.
Okay.
I got to work anyways, but yeah, it's gotten a little better, but I'm still having like the compression issues. So I'm getting a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus the way that like this season went, I mean, all things considered, this was probably the worst season I've had in the last, 7 years.
For golf, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I only posted 16 rounds, Rob.
So that's what happens when you have a kid.
Dude, it's brutal. Like, well, that's the thing, too. And we talked about this prior to the season, like in the fall, is, well, one, I didn't really utilize the simulator here, which that will change next year. I'm talking like mid-season. Just because it's so nice out, I've always been like, well, I'll just go play. But now things are a little different. I should be in here more often because I don't necessarily have that time to just go play.
Right.
So that will get worked on. And then the fall, there's a huge adjustment coming. I think part of the issue I've had the last 2 years, this is the second season now where I've played majority of like a cut off the tee. And I think that's part of the reason my back is kind of gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, we need to do some serious work, but I can't do work if I'm injured. So,
right. Yeah.
So I'm hoping, everything is good to go come like wintertime when, the itch starts to come and,
Sure.
but we got a ton to work on. And it stinks too, because I was starting to finally get a hold of that 007 sub 70 putter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But mainly the T-ball. The T-ball, Rob, has been the demise of my game. That's it. I mean, just tracking stats. Every time I've been able to get off the tee, I score well.
Right.
And I just, it is what it is. That's the game. But yeah, we're hoping to put in a lot of work this year. But yeah, the club's are already in the garage. I mean, probably put some balls on Saturday at the championship. But other than that, like, fortunately, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap for Tom.
That's a wrap. But I'm pumped for you, big guys. So Sunday, what time are you playing Sunday?
I think the 2:20 tee time. Somebody, I forgot his name. I apologize. On Slack was looking for 2 guys, so we're jumping in with them. A lot of chatter in the Slack going on in the last week and a half, which is good to see.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Southside Tour Championship, Rob, Saturday, Ruffled Feathers. The field is set.
Weather looks perfect.
It's going to be, especially for the early tee times, it's going to be nice and brisk.
Oh yeah.
Those guys are going to have ideal weather. Hopefully it's not windy. And then you're talking about literally pristine golf weather where the grass is probably still going to be a little wet, a little dewy.
Oh yeah.
I could smell it already.
Pin seeking.
Yeah. Pin seeking. Ruffled Feathers, I believe, is going to set up well for the Tour Championship. And I'll tell you why. So there's a lot of trouble there. And we are playing, so we're not playing the tips. We're playing, I think, the blues, which are like 63, close to 64.
Mm-hmm.
But Ruffled's got a ton of slope.
Yes.
So essentially, whoever putts well at Ruffled is probably going to place in the money, which is a great situation for the championship. So it's a lot of risk reward there.
Oh yeah.
So I think, if you play fairly smart, you putt well, then you should see yourself, above, somewhere on top of the leaderboard. Then again, there's a lot of trouble there. The day could go very south very quickly.
Sure. I mean, it's a very risk reward course. I mean, think of a couple of those par fives, it's for sure. Like if you play smart, you're good, but you can, if you want to go for it. So I think you're right with it being a good course for the Southside Championship.
Yeah. Pete Dye design. Like I said, I think it's going to set up well. I think we're going to see, and to tell you what, I don't think in the last 4 years since the inception, Rob, I don't think we've ever had a closer leaderboard in terms of points.
I know. I mean, what? There are 4 split first, so there's 4 guys tied for first. That's a great point, because I think there's not, if I remember right, laying it out, there's not one solo position. Nope. I think everybody's tied for everything.
Yep, we've never had that.
Yeah.
So the leaderboard is essentially packed. I believe even from first place to last. I mean, I think the last guys have like 74 points, but the next group above that is like 3 something. So you're talking about only a 400 point difference that separates first and like 60th.
Yeah.
We've never had that.
No.
Usually been a solo guy, not necessarily runaway, but then here again, championship is worth double. So opposed to, majors and playoffs where points are 1.5, championship is worth double. So, I mean, if you're sitting in essentially 45th, 52nd place and you throw up a number, you could very well, potentially see yourself in the top 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's the joke, but it's anybody's game, So it just depends on how you play and what you want to risk. And I think I'm excited about, like we did for when we had the South Side at Ridge. They had Golf Genius set up, and we had to do that one person, put in the scores after each hole.
Yeah.
The live, and obviously we're having that this year, like we had last year. But I like that we're doing, one guy has to put them all in, so you can follow live with it through your whole round to see what's going on.
Yeah, going to be live scoring. One guy from each group has been assigned to keep the group score. Obviously, we'll still have scorecards in the carts kept, but for everybody that's already finished up and on the patio, waiting for guys to come in, they'll be able to track that, like Rob said. So yeah, Saturday's going to be awesome, man. Championship days are always just special.
Yep.
Just seeing the guys out there early on the range, on the putting green, there's a little bit more, focus.
Oh yeah. It's very, not very serious, but it's more
intense.
Serious. And it's, like we always talk about, like everybody off the first tee, especially now that, with it being tee times, watching people, that's good.
Awesome. Oh yeah. The juices are going to be flowing.
Oh yeah.
You're definitely going to see some guys with some nerves, especially out of their comfort zone, playing in a group of guys maybe they don't even know. And that's,
think about the first hole. You got the driver range to the left. Well, you got the driver's range to the left.
Yeah.
And you got not OB out. You go right, you kind of hurt yourself. So, you get those shaky hands. It's going to be fun to watch.
Oh yeah. And that's essentially kind of why this started, Rob, is that feeling you get on the first tee of championship day is essentially why this whole thing started.
Competitive juices, man.
Yeah. And although it only happens maybe once a year, sometimes it happens in majors, depending on who you're playing with. But, that's the whole purpose of this thing is to get those juices flowing, feeling the flow again, getting the competitive spirit and go after it. You just got to be a straight killer on championship day.
Right.
So, speaking of golf, did you catch the incredible ending to the Fortinet Championship?
Yeah, so I did watch the ending of it. The weather I was going in and out of it, to be honest with you. I was working on the deck still, but I had it on in the TV in the garage, so I kept on going back and forth. I could not believe that happened. That would happen to like me, or but just a pro, like to see a 3-putt from 3 feet, that was just crazy.
I forget who, I think it might have been Porath. He posted a dual screen picture of where Max was and then where Willett was.
Mm-hmm.
Said one of these guys, made a 4 from this spot, which is crazy. And to Max's credit, hell of a chip. Danny Willett, the fact that he was like, obviously if that was a major or if that was towards the end of the year, he would have been a little bit more upset. He even said, it's the first event of the year. Not a big deal. The way that he talked through his presser, it like didn't even bother him, which is crazy to me.
I didn't see his presser, but
So he said in his presser, he's like, he basically said, it happens. He more went the route of for being the first event of the year, my game's in really good shape, and that's kind of what I'm excited about. Credit to Max, and that was it. Like I was like, what?
I was laughing though, the close up they had on him when Homa made the chip, like he couldn't help but laugh.
Yeah, right. In that circumstance, that's really all you can do. But to get the job done, just 2-putt and get out of there. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah. Especially after you seeing. Well, I guess he wouldn't change anything, but when he didn't get it out of the sand, I was like, oh crap! Well, he's got it. So
right, crazy. So Max Homa, back-to-back winner. He owns that place. I think Monday Q tweeted the other week, like Max needed during Q school. Max needed like 3 birdies or 4 birdies on the last 4 to get his card, and he did it.
Yeah,
and then in the last like 3 years or 4 years, he's gotten like this is his 5th win.
Yeah, fifth one. Yep.
Five wins and like 41 starts, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. No, it was fun following him on social media. The 24 hours. No, yesterday with like arriving for the President's Cup and everything. It was cool to see.
Speaking of the President's Cup, what's your thoughts on that whole thing?
Obviously it's not. We don't get as much hyped up as we do for Ryder Cup, but I am excited to see, my boy Spieth and them play again. But I just think they're just gonna demolish them, to be honest. And I think that's what jumped up to plus 850 or something like that.
Are they?
Yeah, something like that. But I'm excited to see that golf again. That type of competition, match play, see all those guys together. It'd be obviously it's a little different from watching this past weekend. And I'm more excited about that especially like not jumping ahead, but I was not interested about Live this past weekend at all. Like I think I may turn on YouTube for like a minute to watch it, and that was it. Like I had no like I just didn't care to watch it. But like next weekend, obviously it's a different format, but I'm more excited to watch the President's Cup than I was this past weekend.
Oh yeah, I mean I think the President's Cup is going to be a bloodbath. To be honest, like what would be stopping? So say you had $100,000 in the bank, right? Why wouldn't you just go put everything you had on Team USA? I mean, there's no chance they could lose, right?
I don't know. I mean,
sure.
There's a chance that it was going to 3-putt from
the risk reward isn't great, but you're talking about free money.
Are you gonna bet?
I mean, I think I have to.
Yeah, right.
But you're gonna have to put up an awful lot, just to win something. But I'd probably be more interested in the head-to-heads, rather than like overall.
Yeah.
So a day-to-day, kind of like what you do for the Masters. I haven't really got up for it, although I got a little excited today when I saw like the Arrival and guys playing.
Oh yeah.
Some practice holes and stuff like that. So that got me a little fired up. Speaking of Live, I mean, although I didn't watch any of it either, and I did plan on going out there on Friday. Woke up Thursday night. I went to go look at the tee times, forgetting that there'd be a shotgun start.
Yeah.
Dude, shotgun start wasn't until noon on Friday.
Right.
So Lily goes down usually for a nap at like 1.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured the shotgun start would be at like 8, 9. I'm like, all right, we'll go out there and catch maybe 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, it's at noon. So never went out there. But a couple former CGT members were out there, sent me a bunch of videos. They were following around Cam's girlfriend, following around Bryson. I mean, depending on which thread you go on or get into on Twitter, I mean, people said it was electric. Said it was a great experience. From what I captured is like how close they were able to get to like all the big time guys following them.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Now, again, like I've still have yet to actually catch like a full day of Live. So, and it's not to say like I'm a boomer and I can't go on YouTube and just watch it.
Right.
To me, until they get a TV deal, I'm just really not interested in it yet.
Yeah. I mean, it was like Boston. Obviously, I found myself watching it. I mean, DJ was in the contention, I think, after Thursday, Friday, right? And then Candace Smith came out. But when I saw, just like any tournament, I feel like some holes are more crowded than the others, obviously. So you pick and choose what you think when you say there's a lot of people there. But I was like laughing at Norman's video of like or did you see that picture of like the parking lot or, where they had the cars parked? Like they're, oh, look at all these cars. I'm like thinking to myself, well, it's really not that many. But anyways, the one thing I do like, I think they're getting better with their graphics. Like I loved how they did like, an abstract of like the whole, like a illustration of it to the right as they're teeing off and stuff like that. So that piques my interest. I still can't stand the commentary. I just played music. I didn't even listen. I mean, I turned out the volume for the TV and just played music while it was on for a couple of minutes because they're just terrible.
Yeah, coming from a graphics guy, that's a pretty big compliment.
Yeah, no, it was. I do find it interesting how they do it. I mean, I'm sure there's probably obviously they could do more tweaks and everything like that, but I think it's a cool presentation. So, like, what's that going to look like when they do get a TV deal? You know, what's going to change about that? How is that going to play into everything? So, and you know, that whole like Fox Sports picking it up.
I was just going to say that's in the rumor mill. It's Fox. Supposedly Apple TV told them to get lost. They're too tired.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, I get from a TV sponsored dealership, it's certainly not going to be a great look to start. And even if there's some losses at the beginning, I think whoever picks it up is going to eventually win, especially if it really turns into what they're hoping. And that's, you know, F1, you know, Premier Soccer League. And that looks to be the way it's going. I mean, even on Twitter, like, again, Xander's come up again. Cantley's come up again as you guys rumored to be going. And supposedly it's specifically for that model. Like, they see supposedly Cam Smith, that was a huge reason why he went over. They see the future of that, them having, you know, equity stake and them basically having their own franchise, and then the team aspect coming into that. And that's what, like, I think there was a clip of who is it? Neiman? Like, he was far down the leaderboard, right? But he like chipped in to get his team into third place. He went nuts as if like he was in contention.
Yeah, no, that whole, like, even with like Phil's placing in the top 10. I think the High Flyers, I think that's the team, right? They end up being in third or something, right? Like that. And, you know, to see him back and everything like that, the team competition thing is pretty cool. I do like that aspect of it, to be honest with you.
Right. I think as we, you know, as it progresses, it's definitely starting to come to light, but there just isn't enough there yet for me to tune in. I mean, I definitely watch highlights of it. But again, I mean, that's not to say I've been watching the PGA Tour either. It's just,
right.
You know, kind of just haven't had time to do either or. But
I mean, they're what? I think their next two events are overseas, right? So, like, how does that look for streaming? You know, too, as well, with the time difference and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's still going to be, you know, on YouTube. But in terms of time, I don't know. I mean, you would think they would have to do something similar to, you know, the Open Championship where it's on at, you know, 4 a.m. or whatever. But
I do like following, like, I forget what the Twitter handle is, but how they're keeping track of the streaming views for all of it. I thought that was pretty how interesting it was to see how they dipped. And obviously, because it's the NFL and college football.
Right.
That was pretty crazy to think.
Speaking of college football, did you see the petition they sent in, the live players today, to the in order to get official world golf rankings? They sent a letter. All the players sent a letter and their signatures as a petition to get official world golf rankings. And what they did in the letter is they compared themselves essentially to the Big Ten.
Really?
Yeah. Not themselves, but what they did was they said, okay, well, they made an analogy saying basically, you know, take the Big Ten out of, you know, out of the situation they're in. They basically said that's like taking a team out of the SEC, like not being able to qualify for, you know, the national championship or even the bowl games. So they went that route, which I thought was interesting. I believe they even mentioned FIFA too. That would be, you know, very similar to taking a team out of there and they couldn't qualify to play in the FIFA Cup. So, but here's the thing, Rob. Jay Monahan sits on the official world golfing or the official world golf ranking committee board, which is another thing.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. which it's also crazy to me too.
Right.
Obviously, he's going to be like, yeah, my vote is no. Obviously, there's other people that vote, but you would think there would be some type of issue with that. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of people have been saying that in order for them to get official world golf rankings, that they're going to have to tweak their whole entire live format.
Right. Yeah. Even I think Bryson made that comment, right? That, everything's evolving or whatever it was to, things will be changing type deal thing.
Speaking of Bryson, oh my God. Did you see him get clotheslined?
I did. And I think it was even better when Justin Thomas tweeted the sniper gif. Did you see that?
No.
Oh yeah, he replied to the post on Twitter with a gif of like the sniper firing off.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I mean, that guy, he was doing so well too. He was out of the media for a couple months besides like comments on Live, but in terms of like, the back and forth between him and Brooks, like that finally settled down and Bryson was finally like off the radar. And then this happens and he's right back in to the spotlight. The guy is literally unbelievable. I mean, talk about a drama queen. Like the worst part about it is he blamed the volunteer. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ, guys, come on. Like, that's your fault for not being able to get under a rope.
Right.
And then to snag the towel out of your caddy.
I was just gonna say that was forceful.
Yeah,
that was unnecessary.
That guy, he's a complete asshole.
Yeah.
Right up there with Billy Ho.
Oh, you're putting him on the same level.
Oh yeah. I mean, Billy Ho is just unbelievable. Did you see what he had to say?
No.
I mean, so Billy Ho was playing in a practice round. I think he was playing regardless with like Scotty and somebody else, probably a practice round for the President's Cup, right?
Yeah.
So Billy Ho pipes one down the drive or down the fairway. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he basically turned around to Scotty and was like, you want action today. And Scotty, right, yeah. I love this. Scotty said, yeah, I want action, but hit another one.
Yeah, you got to re-tee. Yep.
Yeah, you got to re-tee. Like, that's literally what like an 8th grade, a little school kid does. Like,
right.
Shooting basketball hoops in the backyard. Like, he makes one and then turns to his buddy and is like, yeah, you owe me $10. Like, yeah, Billy Ho is the worst. Moving on, Rob. West Side Tour, you guys are finishing up your playoff. Well, actually, yeah, you guys are in the second weekend. No. What's today?
We got one more week. This is our second weekend, and then we wrap up the following Friday.
Yeah, you guys are staggered. Northside Tour finishes up
this Friday.
This Friday.
Yep.
Then you guys have another week after that. Yeah, it's all coming to fruition there, Rob.
Northside's finished up the 23rd this Friday, and then 24th the Southside Championship. Then we finished up that's the 30th, right? 30th is our last day for playoff for the West Side, and then Northside is October 1st championship, and then West Side is October 8th championship. So to believe that it's going to be October already is crazy to me. So
crazy. We're going to have 3 tour championship 3 tour champions and championships, in the next 3 weeks.
Yep.
And then the season's over. And then we're basically right back to work, Rob.
Yep.
Scouting for courses next year.
Always grinding.
Sending out the surveys. I'm interested in a lot of the surveys this year. Obviously with each year we're trying to bring something else to the table. So like
better,
for instance, next year we're trying to get the attesters on the website, so that once you use set attester, their name would essentially get grayed out or blacked out, so you can't use them again. So that therefore who you've used.
Yeah, so you can keep track easily.
Yeah, right. Things like that. We're looking at going after premier tee times, trying to work something out with the club to where they're not, fully discounted, but if they can meet us in the middle, I think our guys would much rather have.
Yeah, the 7, 8 o'clock tee time.
Yep. Yeah. So just little things like that, bringing more value to the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the surveys are some of my favorite times. Slash, like, you know, I got to have a drink while I'm reading some of the surveys, though.
Right.
But yeah, they're the best. I mean, that's when, you know, that's when Rob and I kind of get like a pat on the back, like, hey, and believe it or not, there's a lot of guys that will go out of their way, and this is super appreciative, that will like write us. They won't even, this is separate from the survey. They'll write us full blown emails, paragraphs long, like, hey, you know, this is my 2 cents, or hey, you know, I really appreciate you guys doing this. You know, it's been great. You can see the progression over the last 4 years, yada, yada, yada. And of course, then we have the other guys who are like, this league stinks. You guys stink. You know,
well, I mean, the criticism or, you know, the good comments, I mean, whatever is said, we're just trying to make it, you know, better than next year. Right.
Right.
I mean, obviously,
well, you know, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Listen,
right.
You know, you're not, I guess, you know, I don't know. Maybe you're not doing things right if you don't have haters. So there's always going to be haters, and trust me, that fuels the fire. But it is what it is. But majority, you know, everybody's got great things to say, and you know, the feedback we do get, we wholeheartedly sit down and talk about it, and we're like, hey, is there any way we could, you know, fit this somehow into what we're doing? Like, this is actually a great idea.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of good chatter. So, but yeah, the next 3 weeks are going to be exciting, obviously, for the championships, and you know, wrapping up the season is always good.
Right, and don't get me wrong, Rob. We'll probably take a couple weeks off first to kind of decompress.
Sure.
It is a lot. You know, I don't think people realize, like, you know, we do have day jobs. Obviously, somebody's got to pay the bills. Do we make money off this? Sure. Is it a lot? Absolutely not. It's more of a hobby for Rob and I. It's something we really enjoy doing. But then again, we put an awful lot of time into it as if it were a job. So the off season is super busy. Believe it or not, it's much, much more busy than in season. So yeah, we'll take a couple weeks off, kind of get away from it, you know, kind of get hungry again, circle back, and then we'll start diving right into 2023. I've already started scouting, Rob, the Southside Tour 2023 schedule.
I like it.
Yeah, there's already it's coming together. I won't give any teasers out, but it's pretty much, it's projected. It hasn't been finalized yet by any means, but it's definitely on paper. So look forward to that. We got no picks this week, Rob, because
no picks.
The President's Cup. So we're going to jump right into the top three. Are you ready for the top three?
All right. So since we talked about seasons already, the holiday seasons, what are with the weather changing and eventually not being able to go out, you know, we're going to have to start, you know, binging some shows again. What are your top 3 series?
Oh yeah. We're almost to hibernation season, Rob.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
I've already started. I think I've already gained like 7 pounds in the last 2 weeks. It's bad. Series. I love that. I'll go in the 3-hole. I'll go, and this is TV show or like all-time series?
A TV series, whether it's HBO or whatnot, but it has to be.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go Curb in your 3-hole.
Okay.
Yeah. Love Curb.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. I think it's better than Seinfeld.
Okay.
Speaking of Seinfeld, I never knew this, and I might be in the minority here, but like a month ago, I was reading this and it blew me away. I never thought about it. Do you know technically George is Larry David in Seinfeld?
Oh, is that what it's supposed to be? I was never a Seinfeld fan, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I read that, I like almost fell to the ground. I'm like, dude, how did I put that to get 2 and 2 together? But never really thought about it. I thought that was super interesting. So yeah, Curb is 3, although it's been, you know, years since I've watched it. I don't even think I've seen
the new season.
new season at all. But old school Kurt was unbelievable. Number 2, I'll go Breaking Bad. Of Breaking Bad, and then number 1's very easy for me. It's Game of Thrones.
I figured that. I was waiting to see
House of the Dragons back on. It's been insane.
So is it good? The House of the Dragons? Oh, really?
Yeah, I was very worried about like how they're going to tie everything together. Would it be completely different? And it's not. It brings you right back to the same feeling you had watching the original Thrones. Obviously, different characters, different storylines, but I mean, it's phenomenal already. So yeah, it's really good. Last episode was insane. It's been spectacular so far. How about you?
That's a good top 3. 3 would have to be Entourage. I loved Entourage. 2, Breaking Bad for sure. That was a great show. Like, I never got into Better Call Saul, but Breaking Bad was awesome. And my number 1, I think it's just because it's so recent right now, but Yellowstone has been awesome. I'd have to say that's like my top favorite one right now.
Yellowstone is good. Do we know when that's coming back?
They had like that teaser trailer like last week. I don't think they gave a date though. Kind of like broke down like just a recap of everything. So, but as far as like dates coming out, not sure. But like another honorable mention is like Sopranos. That was a great TV series.
Sopranos is awesome. That is probably my honorable mention. Speaking of Yellowstone, did you ever watch 1883 yet?
I have not. I did not get into that.
Either have I. I heard it's insane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
Okay. I do like Sam Elliott a lot. I like Tombstone and all that shit. So I might have to get in that.
That would be right up your alley.
Yeah.
Until then, Rob, next time we talk, we're going to have a Southside Tour champion on our hands.
We will.
So I'm sure we'll have plenty to recap. We're going to get a ton of content, especially day of out on our social medias. So the old guys say. But until then, Rob, we'll see you in the fairway.
See you in the fairway, Tom.
See you, buddy.